Well, we're back. Another TwoSun Tuesday. Hooray! And this one's probably going to be a throwback since I think this is the earliest model that I now have. This is the TS09, also known as the Black Mamba, because this one actually has a name. You can certainly see that this is G10, and they have kind of these V scallops kind of going on there. You can also see that these screws are quite a bit more decorated than they've used in other ones. You can also see that it has this clip that I'm not a big fan of. I mean, it makes sense. It's very old, and their original clip that they had on quite a few of these guys were just like that. So yeah, this guy actually is a thumb stud deployer, which doesn't happen all that often for TwoSun. Yeah, it works pretty well. You can see the blade kind of has a compound grind that kind of thins it out a bit near the tip, but does keep it nice and thick way up at the top here. So yeah, does a pretty good job of actually slicing around the belly and close up to the tip, but still quite reinforced. This guy is bulky. Nice chunky design, so that's pretty good. A pretty neutral handle, all things considered. You know, it does have a couple of finger grooves, but it is, by and for the most part, quite neutral. Yeah. Got a D2 blade on it, obviously, because that's what a lot of their really old ones were. Not all of them. Apparently, I mean, they've made a couple in 420 J2, which, um, and I think they've actually even made a couple in 9CR18 MOV, like the TS01 and 02 and stuff like that. Yeah, this guy's pretty interesting. Obviously, he's got ceramic bearings like all the rest of them. I do have to say that this point back here does actually get you a little bit when you're holding this knife. It will poke in pretty good right around here. So they could have used to kind of round that off. Obviously, I have the power to do that with a belt grinder. I can, round that off a little bit if I actually wanted to. But yeah, this one doesn't show that it has a designer on it, so it's most likely a TwoSun design. I honestly don't know. I've kind of had my thoughts that a lot of the earlier ones that didn't have a maker's mark on there were probably night morning, but yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, interesting design. How about if we go ahead and take a peek on the inside of this guy? You know, despite having the decorative screws on there, they're still T8s, so that's awesome. There's those couple and the pivot. And at this point, yeah, you see, I haven't actually cleaned this guy up a whole bunch from when I got him from the factory, so yeah, he still does have some of that mineral oil dunk going on there. Now, that might not have been the most elegant teardown, but hey, it's what happened. There you go. There's the pivot is round. It doesn't really have anything keyed off there. Um, it does have basically these little collars around these guys. They're not actually barrel spacers, which is kind of an interesting little thing going on there. And yeah, you got the ceramic bearings kind of held by the blade, as is kind of pretty darn traditional for TwoSuns. And it served them up for quite some time now. So yeah, nothing super interesting to see on the inside. They have skeletonized the show side, but the liner side didn't really do much for it. And the steel liners on these guys is actually not super thin, so this guy does actually weigh a bit. You know, it's certainly a good old chunk of steel in there. Oh, that's something I did fail to mention, and you can see it here. This one actually, because it's got so close to the edge there, and it's also the lockup, you can see a little bit of burning going on kind of around that ring area, which I don't really see on TwoSuns very much. It did have a tiny little bit of a lip, and I've taken care of that with a super fine diamond stone, just pretty much for my own sanity, because it doesn't really affect anything, but hey, it's easy enough to deal with really quick when it's in there. And this blade pen is just going to fight me tooth and nail. Here we go. Alright. Grab the liner a little bit. Or a lot of it, depending. There we go. Got everything all nice and fitted up. It's a very solid construction for sure. A lot of times I do like to do the pivot first, just so I can get the knife all nice and closed. I am thinking of trying to find either a replacement or modification for these old clips, because they're so uncomfortable with the amount that they stick up and point out on you, that I've basically taken it off of my other knives that have had it on there, like the TS09 and maybe 85 and some others. Yeah, I don't know. I have quite a few of them here with this clip, and I'm really not a big fan of it. But yeah. All right. Yep. We're still a little loose at the pivot. There we go. That feels a little too tight. And that's the reason why right there. Look at that. I've done it again. I always seem to do this on camera. And it's not something that I've really had trouble with outside of that. But yeah, these bearings do a lot better when they're in the knife rather than outside of it. I'll just pop that guy back in there. I gotta get a heck of a lot better at that. I don't know why I forget to do it on camera. It's not like I'm nervous. I mean, I can speak fairly decently in front of a crowd anyway, but I just don't really need to these days. You can definitely tell that this guy free spins. deal with that in a moment. Let's just go ahead and actually attach these guys down. It is kind of interesting having this hardware that's kind of bespoke for the model. Almost kind of reminds me of, like, you know, small western badges or something like that. But yeah, alright. So how do I want to go about dealing with this? Because it's smooth on the other side there. Maybe with a giant ass magnet? Nope. Giant ass magnet is not the way to go. So, the next thing is tape. Just grab me some Scotch tape as the first step option. That's all I needed. Yep. That is kind of a problem you can run into. Yeah, what is going on here? It's something you can run into here with pivots that aren't keyed. So I got them out. All right. So what are you catching on, you? There we go. Got them that time. There we go. Yeah. So it has that same kind of action that you get that, you know, wiggle shut, and or once you get over the detent, you can just drop it. Like most of their other models, if you actually have them kind of tuned up correctly. This guy's pretty interesting in general. It's probably not one that I'm going to be carrying a whole lot, just because I have a whole lot more options that catch my interest a little bit more. But if you're really looking for a robust knife that's got, you know, a decent amount of tip reinforcement that isn't a Tanto, or at least not, you know, the American cold steel style of Tanto, then this is a pretty good option for you. Like I did say earlier, if you're going to be holding it in, you know, the traditional format, for one, no jimping. That's fine because the handles are quite textured. But yeah, these corners right here, whether you're right or left-handed, they're gonna get you, and it's kind of annoying. Not super bad in a pinch grip, or if you really want to go that route. But yeah, if you're just holding it in that standard thing, that's definitely something that I personally don't prefer. And because these guys are, you know, quite cheap and whatnot, I do plan on basically taking the edge of this guy to a belt sander and just kind of evening it out there. It might not be the most beautiful thing in the world, and you definitely, for something like this, you want to wear a respirator mask or something. Not for the steel. The steel is whatever, but G10 has the particulate that can get in the air, and you don't really want to breathe that in. It can be some kind of gnarly stuff. But yeah, all it takes is a little mask kind of thing going on there. So yeah, that's the TS09, kind of the earliest model that I currently have. I think I might have an earlier one than this maybe coming. I'm not sure. I still have quite a few. I know I've probably just recently thrown up a couple of videos showing, hey, I got more TwoSuns. And boy, I certainly have. But I still have quite a few on the way. Quite a few more kitchen knives, too. I probably won't do those for TwoSun Tuesday, but I do plan on doing kind of a kitchen knife roundup. I've tested quite a few of them. Well, 3 of the 4 that I've gotten in so far. Well, 4 of the 5 if you count the cleaver that I'd already talked about. But I do have some others that are coming in, and also the Santokus that I got are going to be going out for Christmas presents because they're quite nice. Obviously, I do like their 14C 28N steel, and yeah, my mom and my sister don't really have amazing cutlery, so I might as well give them a piece that's great, and that's a little bit lighter than a chef's knife and a little bit smaller because they're 7 inches instead of 8 inches. It just seems kind of like the perfect thing to go for them. So yeah, that's what's going to be going on with those. But with the one of them that I have so far, I have actually tested it out a little bit. I just want to make sure that it's nice before I send it on, and also to take a look at it. I hacked up a head of cabbage and then cleaned the blade off and put it back in its packaging and whatnot so I could give it a shot. Well, okay, cabbage and carrots and potatoes, but yeah, that seems to work out pretty well. So cool. Here's the TS09, the Black Mamba. Yeah, I do like the blade shape on there. Very, very, very subtle curve up here, or slope, I should say, not a curve. It doesn't really have a recurve or anything going on there, but yeah, very, very subtle. And yeah, I do like how it does thin out by the tip, so that it's not just a giant stabbing baton at the end, but still has a whole bunch of tip strength. So it's cool. It's a really, really kind of hard use design knife that you could probably beat the ever-loving crap out of, as long as you watch these little pointy guys at the end. All right, anyway. That's the TS09. As always, appreciate y'all for watching these. They're a whole bunch of fun, and I'm going to have many, many more of these to come. So, yeah, as always, appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.